What's going on, guys? Episode 17 of My Dog's Place. Today we're gonna hang out at the farm again, and we're gonna give you kind of a little walkthrough of what it looks like on a Sunday afternoon. So first off, we're gonna give my boy Vinny here a little bike ride. He had a leg injury a couple of weeks ago, so now he's finally starting to get back to 100%. So we get back to doing some activity with him. So we're gonna take a ride around the block, and we'll be right back. Vinny, come on.
Preso otra vez.
No, pues redado.
Por redado, ¿y qué tú trabajas?
No, yo lo que trabajo pidiendo.
Pidiendo. ¿El nombre tuyo completo cuál es?
Ángelo Lora Rodríguez. Diablo, loco, tú me dices cámara, loco.
Venga, yo no te voy a grabar si tú quieres. Pero yo lo que quiero es que tú me digas, ¿a dónde tú te la encontraste?
¿Qué te voy a decir?
Pégate ahí.
Oh.
Para que tú me digas dónde tú te la encontraste.
Come on, let's get this guy some water.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Let's get the round started.
Ángelo Lora.
So, it's a Sunday. Typically, weekends tend to be a little bit slower than weekdays, unless, of course, it's a holiday weekend where we have a lot of boarders. This weekend, very chill. Have one trainer named Bruce. We'll be doing a session with him, but more than anything, we're just gonna have the dogs run around, and I like to treat Sundays as more of like a field day. Go out, enjoy the sun, kind of sunbathe, but since Vinny already stretched his legs, we're gonna start with him and a group that we could put together with him. Now, one of the things that I always like to keep in mind when I'm selecting my groups is temperament, age, obviously gender is a big thing, but more than anything, temperament. When I have dogs out, I don't really want to be micromanaging every single aspect of the outing. I want to put dogs out together that I can kind of trust and be a little bit more removed from it. That's not to say I'm not supervising it, but this is the difference between being on top of them like a hawk and kind of managing them 25% of the time. First round is going to be with Vinny, Foxy, which is a little Shiba mix, and a Clique named Raven. So go ahead and close up the door. And don't mind Foxy, he's a noisy guy, but he's a nice boy.
Good boy.
So he's probably never seen a camera before in his life. This is desensitization at the end of the day, right? Now, I'm not gonna necessarily give him too much input here. I'm just gonna use the fact that I'm being neutral to it to my advantage and have him kind of just follow my lead. So the idea here is if I'm in front of the camera, if I'm in front of this new device, whatever, and I'm not really bugging out, eventually, and I don't make a big deal out of him bugging out about it, well, eventually he's just gonna get neutral to it, which is, as you can see, it's already happening. I'm just talking into the camera, completely ignoring him, not really telling him anything, whether to bark at it, whether to not bark at it. I'm just not giving him any feedback around the camera. Now he's more relaxed about it. He's even coming up and being a little bit more curious than he is before. To counter condition it, as we were saying, the idea is to put him in these situations and not make barking a solution to removing them out of the scenario. So as you can see, literally he was barking at the camera and nothing happened. It's not that the camera moved away, he was not removed out of the situation. I didn't pick him up and put him back inside. Now he's just have to be neutral with it. He's learning to work through it on his own. And I'm not forcing him, I'm not shoving his face in the camera, and I'm also not shoving the camera in his face. It's basically just there. I'm not freaking out over it, so this is gonna help him follow my lead and over time start desensitizing him to the camera. Another thing to keep in, or to note is I have a leash on Raven here. Now, why? It's because she sometimes has a little bit of a thing with coming back when you call her, right? This isn't to say she doesn't know her name, but some dogs are a little bit more stubborn than others. This is okay. However, when we're training, or better yet, when we're proofing a recall and practicing it in different scenarios, you want to make sure that you have some sort of way to hold them accountable. So I need to have a leash, because if I call her, Raven, she has to come towards me. Good girl. If she doesn't, then at very least, I can pick up the leash and make her come to me. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And if the dogs don't want to come back because they're having fun, or they deem that they still want a couple more minutes outside, well, I need a way to be able to bring them back inside. So a long line or any type of leash on them is always a good bet. Come on, Fox. You're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. Yeah. Let's see if he barks at the camera if we bring him close now. Good. Bring him a little closer. Good. Bring him up again. Good. There we go. Nice. Good boy, buddy. Good job. It's just a camera, boy. Come on. Let's go, guys. We come up on his own. Fox! Fox! Good job. So we're gonna go ahead and swap out Vinny. Sure, he's fried from that run. Now we're gonna take out some other two dogs. Ooh. Okay. All right, so Shepherd mix named Bailey. These two white ones are Salai and Da Vinci, and this is a golden retriever. Why did I put Vinny up before I let these dogs out? Now, technically, I could have taken Vinny out with Callie and Bailey without Salai and Da Vinci. However, one, Vinny's tired, and I don't want to put him, again, I don't want him overstimulated, as we were saying. So I'm going to go ahead and put him up and take him out with Salai and Da Vinci. Now, why didn't I just take everybody out at the same time? Well, because Salai and Da Vinci's temperament wouldn't really fit so much with Vinny's. Keeping in mind what we were saying before about being overstimulated, Vinny just went on a 1.5 mile run. He came out, he kind of ran around with the other dogs. If by any chance these dogs that are fresh out of the crate, have all the energy in the world, start to bother him and start to want to play with him, and Vinny decides, hey man, leave me alone, I don't want to play, this could potentially cause conflict. Yes. Hey. Out. Yes. Like I said, guys, track and field coach. Very few dogs that are as fast as Callie that we take care of here, I should say. Callie, bring it. Out. Thank you. Down. Yes. Good girl. Good boy. Oh. We're done. And I use that cue to let the dogs know that the activity is over with. Now, every single time, whether I'm finishing a training session, whether I'm having them out for a regular outing, whether they were just playing fetch, playing tug, whatever, that is my cue to let the dogs know whatever we were just doing, it's done. So I need your mindset to forget that game. And right now you need to put it on pause. So you need to exhibit impulse control. I don't want you jumping up for the ball. I don't want you being pushy. That's it, we're done. So as you can see, we have a bunch of tired dogs here. We're gonna go ahead and swap them out and bring out the next group. For the next group, matter of fact, bring out my boy Bruce that I was telling you about. We'll do some training with him. Specifically here, I'm using my micro educator. This is the ME300 model. You can use the mini educator, which to my knowledge, the biggest difference is that or the only difference I should say, is the range that they have on each other. So this is a unit that has a shorter range. Not gonna be that really big of a deal for what we're doing here, but I'm gonna show you guys how we can use an e-collar. First things first, we wanna find a working level, right? So when we're using an e-collar, the working level is essentially the lowest level of stim that I can use that the dog will feel in that scenario. So this will change. It is a sliding scale for the working level, and working level inside the house might be very different, and more than likely it's going to be, than the working level you use outside. Sit. So I like to start at low numbers. Click, nothing, that was a 4. Yes! You might have seen it. It was just a slight little ear twitch that lets me know that he felt it. That was an 8. This is 8 out of 100, guys. My idea here, my approach here is not to use the stim at the highest level that he can feel it, at least not for this exercise right now. Right now, I'm just looking to do repetition. I'm gonna be asking him for obedience. I'm gonna be asking him for things that he already knows. So to build that reliability that I was mentioning before, to build quickness and speed with the down, with the sit. Bruce, yes! That was stim on, and once he turned to me, the stim came off, and then I paid him for it as well. We will go back down to our 8. Bruce, yes! Good boy. Sit. Yes. So what happened there? You got, nope, sit. Good. So I asked him for a sit. Nope, sit. Nope. Good. Good. A down is not a sit. Good. So the more clear I could be about these things, good. The easier it's going to be to communicate what I'm looking for. Free? Good. So again, the idea here is not to have them in the sit for 5 hours just to prove, hey, look what my dog can do. It's just to communicate that, hey man, you need to stay in this position until I tap you on the head and I say free.